It is Monday, April 28th, 2025, right around 1 p.m. Here's an important update on today's severe weather outlook. You can see that the Storm Prediction Center has maintained that level 4 out of 5, moderate risk for western Wisconsin and southeast Minnesota. Northern Iowa can be added to that as well. Some new information, though, we have increased the severe weather threat down toward Oklahoma and Texas today. You can see that down in this part of the region. That is a level 3 out of 5. Let's hop right into it, and I want to begin with a look at the latest satellite map. You can see exactly what we are tracking, and we have a strong upper level low that is going to deepen out of Utah. That low is pushing northeastward right now, and you can see that we just had that advancing warm front. We had some showers and some light thunderstorms here earlier today, but now we're having all that juicy, rich dew point air moving into the Dakotas, and well, that's going to really destabilize the atmosphere heading into this evening. And you'll notice that as we head towards the region, you can't see it all that well, but somewhere in here there is a dry line that is going to form, and we are going to see severe weather ignite along that dry line out towards Iowa and parts of Wisconsin. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about how this is going to evolve. Now, we're going to be looking at what we call conditional instability today across portions of Iowa, which mean that you see these clouds that we see. Right now, you're looking at a cloud map. And so these right here, these are all going to be some low-level clouds in the blue. And then in the green, we have mid-level clouds. And then in the red, these are going to be your high-level clouds today. So during the onset, these particularly these low clouds can really prevent that cap from breaking. But you'll notice what happens as we head into the afternoon. And we're going to advance this hour by hour. All right, so this is starting off early this morning, but you'll notice that, and let's go ahead and take a look at the previous model run. So as we head towards later on this afternoon, this is going to be around 5 p.m. Look what happens down here. We start seeing the clouds break up. Here's your warm front, here's your cold front, and then right in here, this is the area of concern. Look at how things are clearing out here. All right, so that is going to lead to that cap eventually eroding heading into this afternoon and evening. Now, this is what I'm particularly concerned about right here. The significant tornado parameter, this scale goes all the way up to a 10, and we're getting some readings coming in near 10 across Iowa heading into Monday evening. And you can see as we head towards Monday afternoon, that's really going to be peaking here around 3 to 7 p.m. this evening. And again, the scale goes all the way up to a 10. We're getting some 7s, some 8s, even some 9s showing up. You can see right here, this is where things are going to be the worst heading into this evening. So just kind of be prepared for that. And again, this is going to be around 9Z, so that would be around 4 p.m. this afternoon. Previously, the models were not doing a great job showing those supercells forming. Now, finally, this morning, we're coming on. We got some brand new data for you. The models are actually beginning to cooperate, all right? So again, take a look right here as we head into this evening. Now, look at that. These are what we call discrete supercells, okay? Discrete supercells are very concerning because what happens is that because there's few of them, they're not all competing for the same energy. Whereas when you have a cluster, all of them are competing for the same energy, and so it means that they tend to be more tamed and weaker. When you get these discrete supercell, they have a lot of jurisdiction. They get to selfishly use up all that energy, all that moisture, and so these will be the storms that we are concerned about heading into this evening and eventually heading into the nighttime hours tonight. So again, this is going to be later on this evening, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. And again, look what happens as we head towards later on. The storms will be strongest late afternoon, again, between 3 and probably 8 o'clock. And then eventually, as we get towards Iowa, southeast Iowa, Illinois and eastern sections of Wisconsin, we're still looking at severe storms that are capable of large hail and damaging winds. But these storms right here that we're looking at around midnight tonight are not as pronounced as the storms that we're going to be looking at around 5 to 6 p.m. this evening. All right, so here's 5, 6 o'clock, and then 9, 10, 11 o'clock, midnight. Eventually, these tend to form into a line segment of thunderstorms. Now, we did increase that risk of severe weather down towards Texas and Oklahoma. You'll notice that as we head towards this afternoon, not a whole lot happens. I think these storms will be later in the day as we get closer to sunset. All right, so this is going to be around 5 p.m. Just a couple of hours before sunset, we're going to be seeing a few thunderstorms igniting, but then take a look at that. As we head closer to 9 p.m., now we're looking at some discrete supercells that eventually form into a cluster of supercells. And then as we get towards midnight, this is going to be midnight exactly, it starts forming into what we call an MCS, a mesoscale convective system that's capable of strong wind and flooding here across southeast Oklahoma. So southeast Oklahoma, I'm concerned about hail, damaging winds, and flooding, but I'm really concerned about that tornado threat between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. from south central Oklahoma into parts of Texas. Right here, you can see that we get these discrete supercells that begin forming later on this evening. All right, so you know the drill. Most of you hopefully have a basement or a storm shelter. This is definitely not our first rodeo, but nonetheless, you do need to be prepared for these storms as they roll on through. As we head into Tuesday, now we're looking at an enhanced risk of severe weather. Looks like the tornado threat is predominantly stretching from Syracuse, New York, Utica, New York, down to Columbus, Ohio. That includes Erie, Pennsylvania, cutting right through central Pennsylvania. And then we have that 2% risk across Oklahoma and Texas. That means that there is a 2% chance of a tornado within any 25-mile point. So the risk of tornadoes tomorrow is quite low. Wind is quite high. A 30% chance of damaging winds over 56 miles per hour within this red area, stretching from New York all the way down to Columbus. And then, of course, that risk is going to decline a little bit as we get closer to Texas. Now, as we head into tomorrow, that severe threat is going to be pushing off to the east here. You can see as we head towards Tuesday morning, you can see that we are going to be tracking that risk of thunderstorms here moving off to the east. And this is going to be hitting mostly late afternoon to evening. You can see right here as we stop it, we're tracking that risk of thunderstorms all the way from basically Montreal, Canada, stretching down towards Texas. These have the potential to bring hail and damaging winds. Again, this would be Tuesday evening heading into Tuesday night, stretching across the Ohio Valley into Texas. The risk of tornadoes quite low tomorrow. You can see we have that 2%, not as high as today. And then as we get a look at the wind threat, reminder, wind threat will probably be the highest, winds over 56 miles per hour. And of course, the risk of hail for parts of upstate New York, Ohio Valley, down through the Tennessee Valley into Texas. Again, all those areas have to worry about wind and hail heading into Tuesday. I'll be sure to update you, of course, if anything changes.